Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. In the soft glow of our bedroom, the sound of my wife's laughter floats through the air, light and carefree. It's late, close to midnight, and here I am, trying to finish some overdue work reports while Emma's curled up on the other side of the room, her fingers dancing over her phone screen. It's a typical evening for us, or so I thought until tonight's revelation shattered that normalcy. "Who's making you laugh like that?" I ask, trying to keep my tone light, curious but not accusing. Emma looks up, her eyes wide, startled, guilty. "Oh, just some silly memes from Jenna," she replies quickly, her smile a little too tight. She turns her phone away slightly, a protective gesture that sends a chill down my spine. "You've got to show me," I say as I stand and stretch, walking over to her side of the bed. I make it sound like a playful demand, the kind we used to throw at each other during happier times. She hesitates, then tilts her screen toward me. But instead of tapping on a chat, she clicks on her photo gallery, showing me a cat wearing sunglasses. It's funny, but my laugh doesn't quite reach my eyes. "That's cute," I murmur, though my mind races with sudden, intrusive thoughts. Is she hiding something? I try to dismiss the suspicion creeping into my heart. As I head to the bathroom to brush my teeth, a ping from Emma's phone pierces the quiet. Curiosity, that treacherous whisper, urges me back. I find her asleep, the phone abandoned beside her on the pillow. Just a quick look, to put my mind at ease, I justify to myself. What I see next crumbles my world into fragments too sharp to piece back together. Flirty messages, intimate pictures exchanged with not one, but several contacts. Names I don't recognize smile back at me through heart emojis and winking faces. My heart pounds a brutal, discordant rhythm. I confront her the next morning, my voice a mixture of disbelief and rage. "Emma, who are they?" She blinks at me, her expression crumpling as she realizes her secrets aren't hidden anymore. I can explain, Mark. It's not what you think. But it is, Emma. It's exactly what I think. You've been sharing intimate pictures with these guys. The last word comes out as a hiss, my fury barely contained. She tries to touch my arm, her eyes glossy with tears. "I'm sorry, Mark. I felt neglected. You've been so busy with work, and I just wanted some attention. That doesn't justify this." "Nothing could." I pull away, the distance between us growing beyond the physical. I need time to think. The following days are a blur of whispered phone calls, closed-door meetings with lawyers, and the echoing emptiness of a bed now occupied by only one. Emma tries to apologize, to make amends, but the images are seared into my mind, a constant, vivid betrayal. "I want a divorce," I finally declare, the words tasting bitter and liberating all at once. Emma's face crumples, but there's a resolve in my heart that feels unshakable. She pleads, cries, but I am resolute. "You got what you deserved, Emma. I can't trust you anymore. I can't be with someone who needs attention so badly they'd throw away their marriage." As I pack my bags, the weight of my decision settles in. I'm leaving behind a life we built together, stepping into a future uncertain but necessary. The last look I throw over my shoulder catches Emma by the window, a silhouette of loss and regret. But the door closes with a final click, severing ties, ending chapters, and perhaps, somewhere down this new, lonely road, beginning new ones. The cafe is bustling with the mid-morning rush, a cacophony of clinking cups and lively chatter. I sit at a corner table, my laptop open but my mind far from work. It's been 2 weeks since I moved out, 2 weeks of mulling over every conversation, every happy memory tainted with doubt. I've taken refuge in this little coffee shop near my new apartment, a place where no one knows my story. My phone vibrates, a message from my sister, Laura. "Meet me at Café Delight in 20. Need to talk. Grateful for the distraction, I pack up and head over. Laura's already there when I arrive, her expression serious, maternal, always looking out for me. What's up? I greet her, sliding into the seat across from her. She doesn't mince words. Mark, how are you holding up? Really? I shrug, the weight of the past few days settling on my shoulders. I'm managing. It's not easy, but. I know, she cuts in, her voice soft but firm. But you can't just bury yourself in work and hide in that apartment. Have you thought about what you're going to do about Emma? I've thought of nothing else, I admit. But what can I do? She betrayed me, Laura. The divorce is the right thing. Laura nods, taking a sip of her coffee. Yes, it might be. But I ran into Jenna yesterday, and she thinks there's more to the story. Maybe Emma was acting out for a reason. Not that it excuses her, but. Are you suggesting I should forgive her? I interrupt, a bitter laugh escaping me. No, not necessarily forgive, Laura says gently. But understand, maybe. There's always more to people's actions, more to their stories. Her words nag at me as we part ways, the possibility that I don't know the whole story itching at the back of my mind. Still, I'm resolute. Forgiveness feels like a distant, foreign concept. As I walk back, someone bumps into me, a jogger, headphones in, not paying attention. He mumbles a distracted apology and jogs on. I'm about to forget the whole incident when I notice something on the ground, a wallet. I pick it up and open it, hoping for some ID. Instead, I find several $100s and a business card, Daniel Lawson, private investigator. An idea takes root, sudden and compelling. What if Laura is right? What if there's more to Emma's actions? Curiosity, alongside a deep-seated need for closure, propels me forward. I pocket the wallet, determined to return it, but also to consult this Daniel Lawson about my marital woes. Later that afternoon, I find myself at the address on the business card, a nondescript building nestled between a bookstore and a nail salon. The office is small, cluttered with files and old coffee cups. Daniel Lawson is a middle-aged man with a weary smile. He listens as I explain how I found his wallet and why I decided to come. So, you want to dig deeper into your wife's activities? He asks after a pause, weighing his words carefully. Yes, I say, the decision solidifying within me. I need to know everything, if only to move on with a clear conscience. Daniel nods, understanding flashing in his eyes. All right, I'll help you. But be prepared, Mr. Thomas. Sometimes the truth isn't as simple as we hope it to be. As I leave his office, the sky opens up, rain pouring down in sheets. I pull my jacket tighter around me, a symbolic shield against the storm I know I'm about to enter. Rain drums relentlessly on the windshield as I drive back from Daniel Lawson's office. My mind churns with possibilities and fears, the wipers struggling to keep pace with the torrential downpour and my racing thoughts. A week passes, each day stretching out with excruciating slowness. Finally, Daniel calls, his voice crackling through the speakers of my car. Mark, we need to meet. There's a lot you need to see. We arrange to meet at a quiet diner off the main drag, a place with dim lighting and booths that promise privacy. As I slide into the booth across from him, he lays a folder down on the table, thick with documents and photos. What did you find? I ask, my voice steady despite the pounding of my heart. Daniel doesn't answer immediately. He opens the folder, spreading out several photographs. They're of Emma, but not the compromising kind I found on her phone. These are different. She's meeting with various men, yes, but the settings are all public, cafes, parks. I followed your wife for a week, Daniel starts, his eyes not leaving the photos. She met with these men, but always in public, always just talking. I got close enough to hear some of the conversations. They were about you, Mark. About me? I echo, confusion knitting my brows together. Yes, he continues. She talked about feeling lonely, neglected. These men, they're not lovers, Mark. They're distractions, a misguided attempt at filling the void. I sift through the photos, each snapshot a punch to the gut. But the pictures, the messages. She's seeking validation, Mark. She's not having affairs. It's more like emotional venting, clumsy and yes, inappropriate, but not physical betrayal. The revelation doesn't bring the relief I expected. Instead, a deep, aching sadness settles over me. I threw away our marriage for this. For her loneliness. Daniel's gaze is sympathetic. People do strange things when they're hurting. It doesn't excuse her actions, but it might explain them. The diner's neon lights flicker, casting long shadows that feel like they're judging me. Guilt, sharp and sudden, stabs at me. I've been so caught up in my sense of betrayal, I never stopped to consider her pain, her perspective. Thank you, Daniel, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. I pay him, leaving the diner with a heavy heart. The drive home is a blur. I find myself pulling up outside the apartment I once shared with Emma, now just another part of my past. The lights are on, visible through the curtains. A decision forms, unbidden but clear. I knock on the door. Emma answers, her eyes widening in surprise, and is that hope, at my appearance. Mark, what are you? I saw the investigations, Emma. I know about the men, the talks. Why didn't you just talk to me? My voice cracks with a cocktail of emotions. Emma steps back, allowing me into the foyer. I tried, but you were always so busy, so distant. I thought you didn't care anymore. We should have tried harder, I admit, the weight of my own failures pressing down on me. She nods, tears brimming in her eyes. Can we start over? Try to fix this. I look at her, really look at her, seeing not just my wife but a woman struggling with loneliness and regret. I'd like that, I say. Let's talk, Emma. Really talk, this time. As we sit down, the first drops of a new conversation begin, tentative but hopeful. There might be a chance for us yet, a chance to mend the fragmented pieces of our life together. The road will be long and fraught with challenges, but for the first time in weeks, I feel like it's worth trying. A month has passed since Emma and I decided to give our relationship another shot. The air between us is lighter, filled with cautious hope and new beginnings. We've been attending counseling sessions together, diving into the depths of our issues with professional guidance. Things seem to be looking up, or so I thought until today. It's a typical Saturday morning, and I'm in the kitchen making coffee when Emma's phone buzzes on the counter. I glance at it, intending to ignore it, but the screen lights up with a message preview that chills my blood. Miss you. Can we meet again soon? Pulse racing, I call out to Emma, who's just coming down the stairs. Emma, your phone. She freezes mid-step, her expression unreadable. Thanks, she says, but makes no move to retrieve it. Curiosity, edged with a dread I thought we'd moved past, propels me to pick up the phone and open the message. It's from someone named Tom. As I scroll through the chat, the sinking feeling in my stomach deepens, dates, times, intimate messages, all within the last week. Emma. My voice is a mix of anger and betrayal. What is this? She finally reaches the bottom of the stairs, her face pale. I can explain, she starts, but the words sound hollow, even to her. Explain. You've been doing this again. Even now. I throw the phone on the couch, distancing myself from it as if it's tainted. I was going to tell you, she says quickly, too quickly. It's not what you think. He's just a friend from work. It's harmless. Harmless. Emma, how can you say that? After everything we've been through. I'm shouting now, my voice echoing in the empty spaces of our home. It was never supposed to hurt you, she says, her voice breaking. I needed someone to talk to about us, about everything we were going through. A friend? You need a friend to send heart emojis and miss you messages. The sarcasm bites, venomous and bitter. She opens her mouth to respond but then closes it, the fight draining out of her. I'm sorry, Mark. I never meant for it to go this far. I can't do this anymore, Emma. My decision is sudden but clear. I can't be with someone who keeps secrets like this. Emma nods, tears streaming down her face. I understand. I'm so sorry, Mark. I really am. We spend the next few hours in silence, packing my things. The air is heavy with a mix of regret and finality. As I zip up my suitcase, Emma stands in the doorway, a shadow of the person I thought I knew. Goodbye, Mark. Goodbye, Emma. My reply is curt, a clean cut to a once tangled bond. I leave the house, the door closing with a sound that marks the end of an era. The drive to my new apartment is a blur, my thoughts a tumultuous storm. A week later, I'm settling into my new routine when my phone rings. It's Daniel Lawson, his voice urgent. Mark, you need to know something important. What is it? I ask, a sense of foreboding settling over me. After you left, I kept digging. Emma wasn't just being emotionally unfaithful. She's been manipulating you for money. Most of those friends were in on it. They were helping her siphon money from your accounts, slowly, under the radar. The room spins as his words sink in. The deception runs deeper than I ever imagined. Thank you, Daniel. I needed to know. As I hang up, the final piece of the puzzle falls into place. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was calculated and financial. Emma was never the person I thought she was. In the solitude of my new beginning, I realized the painful truth. Sometimes, the person you trust the most can be the most destructive force in your life. With this revelation, I vow to rebuild, stronger and wiser, forever changed by the scars of deceit.